busiest podcast in America.
Literally, in 2018 to 2019, Proctor's graduation rate for Black students was 50%. The number of students who got overall graduation rate is 67%. And the number of Black students who got an advanced Regents diploma was between 10 to 15, because I don't remember the actual number.
Do you know off the top of your head the average number of graduating classes?
It was
how many?
Around 700.
Wow.
So 10 graduated with an advanced Regents diploma, which is like, okay, you actually you didn't take remedial classes multiple times throughout the years. Yeah. 10. Wow. 10. So when we say it's still segregated, that's what we mean. Like, you can be in the same building, but you are not having the same experience.
Right. I agree with you 100%.
I was the only Black student in my graduating class.
Oh, what school did you go to?
Clinton.
I went to Whitesboro.
Oh my gosh.
So there was literally that we didn't have a. Sorry, thanks you guys.
Where am I looking at?
Hi. Where we at? Hi, y'all. Okay. Hi, I'm Sasha. What else did you say?
What you do?
I'm beauty and all that. Waxes,
yes,
lashes.
She is.
And
Look
all
at
that.
her. Look at her.
Yeah, I thought about doing lashes.
Before the camera even started, I booked my waxer. I need a wax.
Oh, I got you, girl.
Say that.
I got you, girl.
She got a deal going on right now.
Oh, you do?
I got a deal going on, y'all, until February 15th.
Book up.
Yeah. I do like the Brazilians and the Vijay shows, so I got a bundle going on for Valentine's Day.
I think you
Who was your sister? Girl, I'll be watching everybody.
Exactly. I need you to introduce yourself. We're going to talk about it.
Okay.
And I'll take your number too.
I got you. I'm Sasha, and I do lashes and wax and everything. Beauty Studios by Sasha. Beauty Studios by Sasha. I work from my house, and I work from hair creations with patients. And yeah. You follow me on Facebook and Instagram and all that stuff. Somebody got my information somewhere.
All right, let me drive down the block right here down to my bro. Listen, you feel me? Pull up in the Hellcat. You feel me? Vroom, vroom. We here. All right, you be an EMT worker, right?
Yeah, what about it?
So, what is the mental health for you? Like going outside and like how does that affect you? Like how does that like what is your when the adrenaline how you read adrenaline
yeah
like how is that like what is going through your mind as all this is going on? Like you're trying to save somebody's life, like what is?
Well, have you ever even been in that type of situation where you?
Yeah, for sure. Well, for the suicide or death or bringing someone back.
Any type.
Oh yeah. Plenty of times, more than I'd like to admit.
You have a strong heart because
Thank you.
I would
Thank
have
you, yeah.
a panic attack right then. What the fuck?
Yeah.
I don't know what to do.
It was hard.
Yeah.
Don't leave. No, I'm serious. Word.
Yeah. Well, there's no better feeling in the world than being told to stop pumping on somebody's chest because pulses are back.
Oh.
Yeah. I've had the luxury of witnessing that and being a part of that 3 times.
Okay.
Out of the lots of times that I've done it. But as far as mental health, I see it more often than I'd like to. And a lot of the stuff is just when I'm in the back of the ambulance and I'm talking to these people or these patients, if you will, I realize that it's just often one missing thing. And it's the lack thereof somebody present in their life to help them digest and process certain things that are happening to them.
That seems to be the main issue constantly.
Yeah.
That support system.
Right. And
definitely support is a big thing.
Right. And it doesn't have to come from a mother or a father, because I arguably didn't have neither in my life, but I did have a set of people that I can go to help me digest certain feelings. And I've noticed that seems to be the common factor with people who come into the back of the ambulance. Obviously, other than the fact of the people who get taken to the hospital under the mental health law, that's different. A lot of times drugs are involved or they're just checked out. The mental health law, it's I don't know exactly of when it was established or whatever, but our code is 941 or 945. You are under a doctor's order to go to the hospital. 945 is under a doctor's order. You have to go against your will, whether if you want to or not, you're going to the hospital. 941, normally police, they have things on scene to help them determine that you are not alert and oriented enough to willingly make the decision for yourself whether to go or not. So we oftentimes have to knock those people out and take them, or they get taken in cuffs, or they're fighting the entire way. And those seem to be the most like irrational ones where people fight all the time.
Yeah. And can I ask you a follow up on that?
Yeah, go ahead, go for it.
Have you seen any racial trends, or like who are the bulk, like the majority of the folks who are?
Oh yeah, it's the less privileged, and as you can probably already tell who that is, it's the blacks and the Hispanics in the area
who are getting.
We often go to.
That's under police order.
What was that?
And I'm sorry, that's under the police order?
Yeah, under the police order. It tends to be, so the police orders tend to be mostly homeless people or drug addicts. Yeah, it tends to be mostly homeless people or drug addicts. And the people who are mostly homeless and mostly addicted to certain drugs here are the blacks and Hispanics, unfortunately. So every once in a while, I get a voluntary crisis eval. It's like somebody's mom called for her son who hasn't left his room in a few days, and they want us to come, and his dog died or something. And like we were talking about earlier, everybody's shit is different. So I treat the dog death the same as I treat the guy with a needle in his arm. So
Beautiful.
Speak freely. I promise you.
So you ain't never
Get ready for your question. I wanted to ask you, what does your care for them look like? Like when you're saying that you have to treat these folks in the back of the ambulance, like what does that entail?
Unfortunately, those are my scariest calls. Like in my opinion, the easiest calls are for the wounds that I can see. Right, you're broken arm. Yeah. I would rather respond to 4 MVAs than one either psychological issue or cardiac issue, because you could be talking to me perfectly fine and something inside of you is just clogging up artery that's going to slow blood flow to the brain, and you're just going to slowly start to decomp. So I'm sorry, I went off on a tangent, but what was the question again?
My question was, what does treatment look like during some of those?
Yeah. A lot of it is just, for me at least, it's just doing what I said earlier, trying to help them at least start the process to digest the information that's hurting them the most. That's if they're willing to open up about it. I've had calls where I don't even talk to the dude, and I'm like, listen, man, if you don't want to talk, it's cool. I'm going to be sitting right behind you. If you make any sudden movements, I'm going to be forced to react. So just try to keep it cool, right? And then I've had other conversations where I tell my driver, yo, we're going to sit here for 10 minutes. I'm going to talk to him. After 10 minutes, you can start driving. And we just sit there, have heart-to-heart conversations about what's going on. And a lot of times they just need that one conversation. Right. And other times they need a little bit more help.
So in situations like that, are you trained for that, or you just...
Unfortunately, no. Okay.
So that's what I was going to ask. You was saying something about like a kid and a dog or whatever the case is, and you have to act even though you're not like are you actually emotional to the fact that
I didn't get to answer when Zay asked me this, but I was just telling the guys earlier, the guys who run the pod here, that it's something that I'm looking to get out of, because I unfortunately care about people.
Yeah, bro, I was just about to ask you like
yo, so what I do is I take care of myself. If I have a messed up call, and if I'm losing sleep over it, or if I feel like the person deserves somebody to kind of like just have a quiet night for them, I'm not a drinker or a smoker, because I can't be, but I will get some Ben and Jerry's and play some video games all night in their favor, and I will call out the next day and just have a good night for them. It's something that I'm currently working on getting out of, because I don't have the capacity or capability to pull that wall up. And I noticed that there are some providers that are so good, but they bring that wall up, and it kind of decreases their ability to connect with people. And sure, you get to work in this field for 10 more years, but you're also kind of like not really giving people your 100%, because you're not 100%, because you can't afford to be. So I take care of myself. So I take days. If I need to just go shoot some hoops, play by myself, or if I need to go to the city, visit my mom, like I take care of myself. There are things that I do like to make sure I'm good.
Right, as you should. Good.
Yeah.
Can I just ask something quick? It doesn't have to do with the with your field, but when I just came in, when I just came in, you guys were talking about what, segregation in schools? What about it? Because I have a lot to say. I went to Whitesboro. I'm black. I'm black. I went to Whitesboro.
Yeah.
Clinton is even worse. I promise you.
I just went to what is it? An Annie play?
You
not
know?
too long ago.
Girl,
and my cousin was the only black little girl in this Annie play, and I'm crying because and it's not funny, but it was just. It's like wow, and then. I could just talk. No, I can honestly talk about what they're going through too. You get what I mean? Like,
bro, that's why we say here, bro. Yeah, mental health,
mental health is
mental health starts at what age?
Yes, being a mom,
definitely.
I have to being a mom of kids that's multicultural. I was so. Can I swear?
Yeah.
Okay.
Same thing.
I was so. I was so fucked up growing up. I fit the fucking statistic of the white mom with the absent black dad. My mom had 2 kids with 2 different fathers. My younger brother was white. You watch a Ginny in Georgia episode? That's my life with a white mom who fought hard.
I love that show.
Oh, I know, me too.
That show was so beautiful.
It gives me like PTSD.
Yeah, it would. Definitely, and it definitely gives me PTSD too.
Girl,
like watching it, I was getting anxiety. I was like, wow, like. But
I wasn't an asshole like Ginny though. I didn't try my mom like that. My mom from the hood, bro.
Shit out of
What's
happening.
I think we're getting off topic and Zay's like,
yeah, bro. No. Honestly, it's going way better than like I already said it was gonna be great. But you feel me? I got Hilda to back up. She's like Hilda's like the co-host right now.
I'll bring us back.
You feel me? So that's what I'm saying. Because another thing I want to address because because mental health starts in so many different ways.
Doesn't matter the age.
Bro, because I was talking relationships with somebody earlier, right? And they were like, all of us in here, how many great guys or great females that we done passed over in school? So think about Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day is coming up. Mm-hmm. How many people done bought you a 30-foot beer or all this shit, and you ain't give a fuck about it, but because you ain't give a fuck, that shit broke his heart or broke her heart.
Wait.
Yeah.
And bro, but rejection. You feel me?
Rejection, basically.
Okay,
just rejection.
That's what I was gonna say. So,
because you know how we say like,
and it's a hard thing to cope with
when you were in school.
Now you say like some females would be like,
even as an adult.
If a guy's not 6 foot, so imagine how the dudes feel that's not 6 foot.
Yeah,
you feel me? You heard this? That mental.
Don't edit that out.
Like this mental shit starts like.
Yeah, okay. I can't even.
Yeah, I think I want to just say something. Like, I think when it comes to,
I know
he's still shorter.
She's out here being like, I love a short king. My man's a short king.
There's hope for you short kings out there. There's hope.
Okay,
hope.
I'm tiny. So we work. I still look up to him.
There it is.
Please invite me back. I love it.
That's taller than me.
I'm a tall female, so it's kind of just like.
It's how you hold yourself as a man.
You have a height requirement. It's a requirement. It's a requirement because I can't be like. I've been tall all my life, and y'all don't even know. Listen, let me tell you. No. Y'all say you're talking about denial. Y'all say you're talking about rejection. I done been rejected before because of my fucking height. Because I'm skinny, and because you get what I mean. I done been rejected because of certain
beauty type.
I can understand. Bro, listen. I understand all that, bro.
Like mental health is always present in the same way that physical health is, right? I think what you're talking about is mental unease or mental disease, right? And I think that the times when people can get triggered, there are certain things that are a part and a fact of growing up, like learning how to deal with rejection, learning how to have confidence in spite of like people telling you can't or you're ugly, like you know,
didn't catch the neck that night
because you wasn't 6 foot.
Because he wasn't 6 foot.
Correct. Like all of those things are things you gotta learn how to accept and digest, right? I think to your point about really processing things. And so when we're talking about mental health, I think we're talking about the ability that people have to understand what is like other people's stuff versus what is their stuff, and to filter what they internalize and not.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times what ends up happening though is that as kids, when you aren't like, so why we were talking about segregation, is just like the ways in which you're either taught to value yourself, to respect yourself, to think about yourself, to tolerate certain things or not. And the fact that as a Black child growing up, how hard and rare that is, especially in certain neighborhoods, or especially when your educators, it's not that you have to look like me to respect me. It's the fact that if you don't and you're silent about it, I doubt that you do.
Yes.
And so when we're talking about mental health and the importance of like when this starts, right? I think it's not a problem that kids are able to express themselves better at an early age, right? Because I think that that's a part of child empowerment that we need to actually listen to. Because when you see a child who's able to tell you, no, I don't like this. Yes, this is what I want to do. That's someone who has autonomy. That's a lot of power, right? And that's something that needs to be cultivated and celebrated.
I think there needs to be a cutoff, like a certain extent. I agree with you all the way to a certain point, right? Like, I don't want my kid if I'm not a dad yet, I'm sorry. So I just wanted to let y'all know I'm not a father yet. But I wouldn't let my 12-year-old kid or 8-year-old kid vote.
No,
or buy something.
There's a certain age to vote.
I know. I used a very dramatic example.
I think that makes sense.
I think to a certain point.
Absolutely. But what we're talking about also
with parent guidance
is also though like adult boundaries and responsibilities, right? Because what we were saying is like adults beforehand could handle things at a certain level, because I'm gonna be honest with you, their mental health was different. This is a little kid that's checking me. I'm not gonna come yell in your face the same way. I'm a grown ass woman, sir. You got 5 minutes to get it together. Sit down with your head down, because I'm a circle the block. You don't want me to come again.
That's also a respect thing. That's also a respect thing too. Because, there's a difference. When I was growing up in Whitesboro, I have class in Whitesboro, my mom didn't understand, then this is why I am the way I am with my daughters, because of how like fucked up I was mentally. It wasn't until I was older till I was proud of being Black, because my whole life everybody told me that it was bad. It was bad. So like I thought that it was bad to be Black. They tried to whitewash me, and I just had to sit back and be like, okay, like that's just what it is. I didn't know nothing about nothing. I had to figure it all out by myself as I was older, and then starting a relationship with my father at an older age too, my Black half, my Black side of the family.
100%.
So with my daughters, and then I also was very vocal. My mom taught me not to be disrespectful to anybody under any circumstances. I was very vocal, which was taken as disrespect too. So with my mom was always the shut up, I'm your mother. Right. I know what's best for you, but you didn't because you're white.
She put the accent on.
She didn't.
Well,
I'm the mom. I'm the mom. You're the child.
I used to fuck with somebody, and it's like she's mulatto just as you, and she would argue with.
I ain't heard that since the 1970s. Okay, but what does people say now? Mulatto. What do they say? Black and white.
Biracial.
All right.
I didn't take no offense to it, because that just brought me back to it.
Either because I'm the other way around.
Because but I say this because when she said when she talks to her mom, right?
Yeah.
Yo, bro. The conversation, like you said, being vocal, her shit with her mom, like her and mom get an argument, bro, and then she just be talking crazy to her mother. Like, that shit goes up. I'm like, yo, bro, growing up Black.
No, you would not see that.
I will slap the shit out of you.
But can let me just take that, because I was like that even though my mom was white. My mom was hood as fuck. She grew up in the projects. She grew up around Black people. She was part of that, even though she wasn't that. That's why she couldn't teach me that. So I grew up with the same, I can't talk like that. So I can't even look at as soon as I sucked my teeth, my mouth would be bleeding.
I know a couple people, not to cut you off, I know a couple people about to be upset what I'm about to say, bro. But this is what I be saying when we was talking before off camera, and I'm like, to the YT people that grew up in the neighborhoods with us, this is why they be getting passed and shit, because y'all know what this shit feels like. Do you feel me?
Yeah.
No, for real.
My mom, I grew up in Utica. Then my mom took me out of Utica, brought me to Whitesville because she wanted better for me, but that wasn't better. That was her intent, but that wasn't better. Better education, maybe more opportunity with. I play 7 instruments. I know how to play 7 instruments and read music, and I know how to. And I played a ton of sports growing up. I wouldn't have got the opportunity in Utica. I already know that.
You was playing field hockey back in the day, right?
What'd you say?
I said you was playing field hockey back in the day.
I was playing lacrosse and gymnastics. But yeah, I was a lacrosse. I was a lacrosse player.
Black people who do that too.
I was a lacrosse player. I played lacrosse and I was a gymnast. But I would cry.
Yeah. I'm about to say, keep it 100 you. I'm about to say, keep it 100 at Proctor.
Yeah.
At Proctor,
Exactly.
I probably knew. Keep it 100 at Proctor. I probably knew 3 black people that played fucking lacrosse.
That's right.
Lorenzo Brown, Trey Mathis,
You know them by name still.
and Corey. Yes.
With all that, with that being said, I still, even with those all those opportunities, it was still every day going to school, people touching my hair, wondering why I grew 16 inches
like
overnight,
a zoo animal.
and why how you get your hair so curly, and wow.
Okay.
Or I have never been problematic in my life. I was never that rah type of person. But as soon as like I would get a little bit aggravated,
You ghetto now.
everybody would call me ghetto, and everybody would be like, "Sasha's gonna fuck you up," and I'd be like,
Yup. That's
"When
what you
have
was
I ever
known
fucked
for.
anybody up? How you even know I could fight?"
Have you ever got like?
And it's on altercation. Yes, I had to.
No, I'm saying as far as for your name, Sasha.
What do you mean?
There's no, like Sasha, like going to an all-white school and somebody,
Yeah, everybody. Yeah, because it was.
I've never met like a white person named Sasha.
It was. Yeah, it was like it
Oh,
was.
that's different.
Yeah, it was. Everybody thought that I was exotic. The boys
And
talked
that's
to
how-
me.
and that's my point that I'm trying to make. Like, just because I'm mixed with this and that,
They
or
thought it
I'm
was-
black and white. Like,
Yeah.
Like what you talking when you going through? I dead felt that because bro, going to Waterville was insane, bro.
It's crazy.
Bro, if you didn't play a sport, I didn't really talk to you. But these kids had every black joke in America.
Yes,
Really?
and they
And you wanna
thought
know
that it
what's
was
crazy?
fucking hilarious.
And
Let me tell you about the. I'm sorry, I don't mean to go off topic, but in the military,
Talk
These-
about the racism in the fucking military.
Yeah.
in the military, it's like these white people. They have like black jokes for. I don't know. It's
But, like
bad.
it's like they were
I don't
born
even-
reciting them.
Exactly, and it's sad. It's really sad. I'm not gonna even lie.
No, it's crazy.
you did better. You did better than me, at least in school, handling that. Because I remember I went to Waterville, and this is when Justice died. And the kid, he had took like my little. We all had little green ribbons. And he had took my ribbon, but he had the funniest black joke in America, and I slapped the shit out of him that day.
And that's sometimes what you gotta do for real, because it just
But-
be like there's no reason why you feel
was-
so comfortable.
it was
to
weird.
How
say
do you
that to
feel
me.
that? How do you
come
feel
from?
that comfortable? And it was real crazy
It never mattered,
growing up because I would go through all these in a daily basis, right? Even the attention from boys, they were all white. I don't fucking care for white boys, but
She said, "I do discriminate. I do."
but even the boys, they would.
Cousin,
have
why
to-
you gotta
that's
pass?
when that's.
I'm not gonna even lie.
It can say, cousin, why you got to pass, bro?
I already told him. I met him the other day. I said, "Oh my god, you are so cute."
Yeah, like
I should have seen him
No.
dancing the other night.
Why he was getting it too.
Come on, what's up? Was Harlem shaking out there?
He was getting it.
Yo, you know how to dance?
So that's when Snapchat was popping when we was in high school. Snapchat just
Yeah,
peaked,
that's a fact.
and that's when that's when all these like white boys would message me on Snapchat, but wouldn't even look at me in the hallway because they didn't know whether it was okay or not to even
yeah.
think that I was
And that's
attractive.
so hard.
Would
They
you
would-
date a black girl.
Girl, they
But
would be
can we-
like, they'd be like, "Let me see your ass," and
But
I'd be
can
like,
we talk about though how it's
I'd be like,
okay?
what?
But no, like this is I think a real big like mental health conversation when it comes to women's safety and when it comes to how women can be objectified but not actually seen in the hallway. So you don't know if it's okay to say hi to me in public, but you don't ask me for some nudes.
But you
over
asking me
Snapchat.
for news as soon as I get off the fucking bus.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. And And then even with the white girls who would be like, "Oh my God, Sasha, you're so pretty. Oh my God, can I touch your hair?" So
y'all hate white people is what I'm hearing.
That's what I'm hearing
No,
too.
I don't. It's the ignorance.
Yo,
And
I want to say that as a kid, then I was racist as fuck then. Because I ain't gonna hold you. She was my friend. I was cool as fuck, son. She probably married now. You feel me? No disrespect, but you feel me? Elizabeth Soft used to sit in front of me every day in class.
He still remember her whole name.
Yo, bro.
At her, find her.
No
At her. What's her at?
I used to play with her hair faithfully.
Was she a white girl?
No, she's Asian.
Oh, she Asian. Oh, who? Beth?
I used to play with her hair.
That's like my daughter's aunt.
Yeah, you feel me? Yeah, bro, listen. We all went to elementary school and all that shit. Look, that's the homie, her, Sam Pete, all them. Yeah.
That's all my kids' family. That's all my kids' family. All her aunts and uncles.
I just want to piggyback off of what you guys were saying because I took cosmetology. And you know how all the school districts
they go to both.
They teach you how to braid?
Listen.
Right.
No, we didn't get taught how to braid. We didn't even get taught how to do textured hair like my hair.
No, you damn
so,
sure don't.
but listen, a lot of the
dummies.
Kid you not, it was like 3 of us black girls in the class. Wow. So every time it was time to do hair, they will always try to pick us. But it's like, hell no, you're not about to touch my hair. You don't know what
that's a fact. When y'all was doing
like when we're coming in with different color wigs, braids. Oh, how do you do this? How do you do that? Like, chill, please.
How did it grow so fast?
Right,
like, girl, that pissed me off so bad.
What you mean? I bought
that
it.
shit pissed me off so bad.
It grew overnight.
Yeah,
Podcast about
overnight.
black women's hair, and I say this like so. What I studied at Harvard was philosophy and African American studies, and I specifically specialize on racial identity because of this phenomenon that you're talking about, right? One thing that cuts across is like we just started to talk about like the differences in our cultures, but the things that bind us, like we all literally look different, have different, like grew up in different towns or like different parts of the town, different family structures. But what I argue like often makes us all black is that we can identify and share in the same traumatically racist experiences.
Yeah, y'all watched the show Good Hair.
I had to go toe for toe with a couple of my fucking teachers. I had to go toe to toe with. I ain't had not one black fucking teacher in my entire high school career. Nope. Not one. I had to go toe to toe with a couple of them who would think that I wouldn't throw a fucking desk. It had to get to that. It had to get to that point. Because like I said, girl, I have never been a disrespectful. I have never.
She said, "I'm not disrespectful, but I'll throw a desk."
But you gotta
tell her, but don't tempt me.
No, girl, I had to throw a desk before in my math teacher's class because of how blunt, and everybody was like, it was so blunt. Blatantly racist what the shit that he was saying that even everybody in the class were like, you can't say that. I had to throw a desk in Whitesboro High School. I had to throw a music stand at my band teacher. I had to like make myself heard and seen even because nobody would.
Right. And then they wonder why we resort to violence.
Exactly. And then I look like a fucking aggressive black woman. Right. Yep. And that's what the picture always paints.
Exactly. Don't forget ghetto.
Exactly. And ghetto is hell.
That's top.
And when we're talking though, like, and I'm gonna bring this back to the mental health thing, because I think what you're getting at is like, what does it mean to be so disenfranchised and not heard while you're complaining, while you're passively, like politically correctly protesting, acknowledging this, saying this shit, that the only thing that's left is to literally cuss someone out.
Right.
By which at that point you're like, okay, either I'm proving you right or I'm proving you right.
Right.
Right. But at the least I have my autonomy, right? Like I have my respect of being like, you know what?
I'm not taking
I didn't just take that.
Yep. Exactly. I'm not taking this shit anymore.
In that moment, it only matters for you.
Exactly.
Some stuff that I wish that I would have, like I think on now.
That you would have like, I should have fucked them up.
Yo, I want to come down to you because you feel me. This is what life in school was like for us.
Yeah.
What was it like? Like, all right, so like in the city or whatever. I don't, you feel me? I don't really be seeing YT people in the hoods or whatever. So I don't really know if y'all go to school.
I was actually waiting for my turn. So that is crazy because I personally, at least, I didn't really experience racism until I got up here. Like
welcome to the Northeast.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. I have to say that.
There's a huge I can't even understand it. It's like only here.
That's why I say I'm sorry you have to go through that. Because for me, there was 2 white kids in my class, in my graduating class. Cristo Naco, He's Albanian.
I was gonna say,
He was in ESL with me because I'm from Puerto Rico, so they made me take ESL in high school.
I just got back from Puerto Rico.
Oh, nice. What part did you go to?
I was in San Juan, but we like were in Manatí and stuff like that.
I'm from
Luquillo.
Tabaja. It's like right next.
Yeah.
But anyways, so Jack Gutic and Cristo Naco. Jack was Yugoslavian. He resonated more with the Africans and the Hispanics than he did with, mind you, they were the only 2 white people in the entire building. I mean, in my entire floor, because I went to a high school with 8 schools in it.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I went to school. It's called JFK campus, Kennedy campus, and I went to Bronx Theater High School. It was a theater school. So a lot of arts, but everybody was black, Hispanic, or maybe
Wait,
one
you
or
said
two
it was a performing
Asian.
arts?
Yeah, performing arts high school.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
So in the city we have things like that. It's not district based. So
No,
like,
definitely. I
you
moved
could
to
be-
Staten Island for like
yeah.
a few months.
Yeah, it's really fire. It's
And
really
I
fire.
wanted to get into performing arts school because they don't have that here. You know,
They don't, and that's
If
such
you-
a sad
you know how,
case.
You know how I don't know if they do it in the city. I know in elementary school here they ask you what you want to be or whatever your first thing. So I have always said I want to be an actor or entrepreneur. So you feel me? So going to one of them shits.
Yeah.
I remember doing that
Word.
too. I definitely remember
For
doing
real.
that too.
But please continue, bro.
No, yeah, like I didn't experience it until I got here. I see it a lot when I'm working. Maybe it's because there was a lack of self-development or something, because I'm sure it has to exist in the city at some point, but I've never witnessed it to the extent I see it here. Like I've been called flat out the N-word, and I personally identify more with blacks. I'm aware that I'm a little bit more light-skinned than others, so I know that I have a privilege that certain people darker than me don't. And but I totally feel way more comfortable in black and Hispanic communities than I do with other. Yeah, but yes, yeah, I didn't experience it till I got up here, bro, and it's sad. It was on the field too.
Has there ever been any situation where a patient hasn't wanted you to work with them because?
Yeah.
That's a good question.
For sure. It's a lot of it. A lot of it is in microaggressions. So like
definitely
almost every other call is a microaggression.
What
It's
is a
happened
microaggression. How do you explain it? It's
mannerism where you don't want to say it bluntly.
Yeah.
And if I can introduce a brand new term to y'all, I use identity-related aggressions in my work instead of microaggressions because they're not micro, they compound over time.
Yes.
So the same way that you think about an IRA, so that's like a savings account that makes money over time and you invest in.
I like that, yeah.
You know, identity-related aggressions literally chip at people's confidence, mental health in that same way. So
me growing
little
up.
by little, every time you're saying, nice hair.
But just to shed some positive light
it.
on it, I've noticed that like I'm one of the youngest guys at my company, and everybody that gets into this field, EMS wise, or anybody who has the privilege to get into this field, and I say it because it is a privilege, they are mostly white. It's me and another kid named Eli. And there's 2 other Spanish people that work overnight. There's 4 in total, diverse people. 3 Spanish people, 1 black person. And he's from Harlem also. He's a good dude. I'm going to connect you guys for sure. But there's only 4 of us. And all of it, I've been partnered with old white people who really don't know what it's like to, 1, get punched in the face. They don't know about the ramen and the Kool-Aid and the Goya packs. They don't know about none of that. Right. But let me
don't know about no type of flavor.
Let me say this. I've responded to calls in
Culture.
Cornhill where my partner, who's my superior, is the medic and I'm a basic. So we're a level below the paramedic. So there's EMT basics, EMT paramedics. My paramedic, it's cardiac related. So initially, the paramedic will be asking the questions. But there's a complete change in attitude towards the medic because she's white and she don't know how to talk to him in a certain tone to where he or she would understand. Then I pull up, I take a knee, I'm like, yo, bro, listen, I know this shit's annoying as fuck, but we gotta ask these questions, bro. Yeah. When was the last time you ate? And he's like, nah, bro, yesterday, I ate yesterday. But my partner, she's like, hello, sir, how are you? We ate.
He's like, if you don't get out my
what was your last oral intake? And he's like, bitch, what? And so it has really benefited me, and I have the privilege of kind of like
I gave Blake last night.
Yeah. I have the privilege
What are we talking about?
I have the privilege of being very self-reflective. So
What you're okay.
Nah,
nobody heard that.
I'm so much. I'm so much. I'm so much in the deep thought because I wanted to ask. He's talking about the schools and shit. So I wanted to ask why son, even though he's behind the scene.
Yeah. I'll give him a mic.
I want like what was your intake of where did you go to school?
All right, so I'm from VVS, which is about.
Oh Lord!
It's
wow, y'all come out this way. That's crazy.
So I'm by 30 minutes that way, all white. I mean, we had 2 black kids, maybe I don't know. It was all white. Everything was white. And it is different. Coming out here to the Utica, even just that 30-minute drive, it's crazy how you get so much more culturally diverse.
Dancing like the way you did.
Yeah, I mean, even like that.
I want to see why it dance now. Yeah.
Crazy. Let him freestyle.
But I got me feeling like my boy the lead role from Step It Up and shit. You feel me?
He was
My mama raised me right. My mama raised me right. She taught me how to dance. But it's different. I mean, I don't even know how to explain it now that I'm on mic. It was different, and it's tough, because I don't know how to relate that much to when I hear everybody else's experience, but I know mine, and but
have you ever encountered? What was your encounters with black people? A black girl, a black dude
coming to the loft, deadass, that. Yeah, shout out the loft.
You've never really
That was the first time I really started hanging out with other people.
I'm sorry.
Nah, for real, nah. That was the first time I ever really
We talking about
out.
our experiences as black people encountering white people.
Nah, that was the point of me asking.
And it's kind of just
I want to know.
That was literally my first time encountering.
Wait, what?
Just different cultures in general because everything's all white. The city I'm from is all white. Yeah. I was telling Rich the other day, we have one fan because my city is so small.
Yeah.
Somehow it's called a city. I don't know why, but there's one family that's Asian. Mm-hmm. That's it. Right. Everybody else is white, and it's it's almost tough going back to that. When I'm coming out here in Utica, I love Utica. Yeah. Just because it's so it's diverse. Yeah.
I'm gonna get you a sweater. I'm gonna get you a sweater.
I need a Utica sweater for real. I need some merch.
No,
but it's
definitely.
You come out here and everything. I like being around y'all. It's fun. We're just having good conversations.
Well, because
and it honestly makes me think white people are more insane. Going back, y'all are crazy.
What would your mother say?
I say this to you because I ask you that because you don't understand how many times we could be doing some regular shit like this.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be the one particular white person that feels so fucking uncomfortable and we ain't do shit to them.
Yeah, nah.
So you understand me?
For real.
Bro, I'm some big nigga, bro. 100%. So you gotta understand is me being bigger than everybody else, bro.
100%.
Yo, bro, I go in a store.
Let's not talk about how big you are. Let's talk about your braids. Let's talk about it because there's more that goes to it. Because it won't even just be how big you are. It'll just be your appearance overall.
That's everything.
You gotta understand because most of the time people see me outside, everybody always think I'm mad or some shit. You feel me?
Yeah.
I just learned how to not talk as much to people. So you feel me? So walking by somebody and then seeing on their face that they fucking frightened.
That's crazy.
Bro, and it's so mind blowing me because right now somebody probably could try to rob you, little dumbass, and I might punch them in their face for you.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's why.
Can I ask the group a question? Following, a pandemic lockdown, following more pimped out Black trauma porn, for lack of a better term, right? I'll be studying and stuff. I think about the question that's been posed a lot of times, where do we go from here, right? Because we're talking about mental health, and a part of that for me is how do we keep ourselves sane through even some the multiple perspectives of these conversations? Because just we're talking about some of the negative identity related aggressions. I see, I really appreciate Edgar's point about the asset of being someone who can move through both places, right? To be able to literally do cultural translation work, right? Of being okay, they asked oral intake, but what that means is, when was the last time you ate? And I'm going to ask this to you in a way that also feels respectful for you, not I'm trying to catch you in a lie or something.
Right. Yeah.
And so I think about this a lot because I'm a social equity consultant. I do trainings on this, workshops. This is why I throw out these terms and et cetera. But I think about like, how do we keep ourselves moving forward, healthy at the same time, while recognizing that like the problem is still there of racism? You know what I mean? Like, because I'll speak for myself on that one. Is just like, sometimes I'm like, okay, either I'm trying to move past it in such a way that like I personally am good. Like, okay, I got my privilege now. I got my degree. I can work wherever I want. I'm good. Racism doesn't touch me
specifically,
right? In this particular, or I haven't had certain scenarios because I've always been athletic and gifted and tall and right? Like all of these other and able-bodied. But I still empathize and can recognize that pain, but also recognize that there are things that I need to be able to think differently about it to not get stuck in that shit. Right. So I'm curious how y'all think about really your own identities, right? And like kind of staying mentally sane, knowing that our world looks the way it does.
I have a story. So I'm pretty sure you guys remember the shooting that happened in Buffalo. Yeah. The grocery store. So I was actually on my way back to Utica, and the shooting happened. I was like paranoid. I'm like, oh my gosh, like the campus got shut down. Everybody had to leave. Then finding out how many people got killed, which they were all black, and then having to go back to Buffalo because graduation was the next week. Finding out that, how do I say it? I'm driving back to Buffalo. Secret Service is all over Buffalo. Being a person of color, graduating, it's like, damn, is someone gonna shoot up my graduation? Like, am I even going to have the opportunity to graduate and walk across the stage because white people just...
Yeah. Even just me taking my kids in the car or like getting out, going food shopping, whatever. I literally be paranoid.
So do
and
I.
Sometimes I be thinking,
listen, myself.
And I don't know if y'all be seeing me. I be like, I'm going back to Japan. I'm going because when I was in the military, I was living in Japan for like 3 years. You feel me? So I didn't have to look over my head, nothing.
Yeah.
And that's the only reason why I say that, because I have 2 daughters, and
so do I.
Coming back here.
But believe it or not,
once I touched scary. I was like,
yo, didn't
what the?
Speaking of brothers and sisters, I don't know if they both was the dude that made the car run on water. Didn't he die that day?
I can't even remember.
He died.
It was a lot going on.
Wait, what?
This.
It was a lot going
Matter of
on.
fact, we gotta talk about this off camera. I want you to.
Yeah.
And I don't even know why he broadcasted that.
But just to like,
as women that look good,
God forgive him.
what is she doing that you may not be doing? So we all done seen
Sucking his balls through his drawers.
That's a fact. From the back.
throat goat.
Sucking his balls.
What's that?